I think the situation has been summarized by the International Energy Agency, other groups calling for, I think, up to 50 new mines to be built by 2050. And I was at a benchmark conference in LA last week where they were saying we need to move from an installed base on the lithium ion side of 600 gigawatts of batteries to 300 terawatts of batteries by 2050 if we're actually going to get to net zero. So, the problem with lithium is there's plenty of it out there, but it's extremely difficult to recover it, and it's extremely difficult to recover it economically. And so we needed a concerted push, from, I think, if you want the allied side to really start to develop this. China has been way ahead for a long time.
If extraction and supply is so hard at this point and that's coming at a cost, does that mean that there will be some suppliers that miss out? I mean, we've seen a lot of transition journeys at this point, and some of the ones that are doing particularly well, the high-end manufacturers. Does that mean the high-end will be well positioned, but the low-end will not be down the track?
I think I think there's a focus on that right now, but I think if you look at the auto players and the OEMs, they've all bet the farm on EVs and getting to where they need to. So the latest term that I was hearing last week isn't demand destruction through lack of supply. It's demand deferral, and that's the first time I've kind of heard that expression. And it's basically saying this is going to happen. It's just how long is it going to take? And so, again, I think we have all the pieces in place if everyone, if you like, starts acting together. I think, unfortunately, the pieces all have to come together.
Are we just NIMBYs in the West? Is that the point? And the phrase NIMBY, I guess it's very Anglo-Saxon, not in my backyard, whereas the Chinese are less squeamish about it. Is that just the long and the short of it?
I think there's an element of that, but I also think I just think the Chinese have, you have to take your hat off. They've played a great game for decades. They've been locking up some of the best assets across the world and quietly going about their business and developing knowledge on building lithium ion technology, soup to nuts. And we've been very slow to react to that. And, I think now you can see in the US with the Inflation Reduction Act and a number of measures that are coming into place that we're starting to wake up to it. But I think the big piece that has to happen is this, Korea, Japan have some amazing technologies. In the US, we're trying to develop this industry, but we don't have all the knowledge.
Yeah.
And so again, I think it's that piece of working together.
I'm going to ask a bit of a fool's question now to the CEO of the American Lithium Associate Group. But what about the alternatives? I keep hearing about sodium ion, about solid state, about fluoride. How's that looking? And are you, American Lithium, investing in that as well, or is that just ridiculous to think that a lithium-based company would do that?
Well, we're really focused on the extraction of lithium, so we're not on the technology side. In my career, I have spent time on the technology side. I mean, what I would say is it's taken us 40 years to get lithium ion to this stage.
Right.
Lithium is the lightest metal on the periodic table. It's conductive. I don't really see that there is a better product certainly for applications like transportation. So yes, I'm sure there'll be other technologies developed, but to put up the supply chain, to do all the testing, to move it over takes decades.
Time, yeah.
And I think lithium ion has really proved itself as a really strong incumbent.